In an age awash with misinformation, one might imagine that journalists, those vaunted truth-tellers, would tread carefully when discussing the world's most combustible conflict. Yet Piers Morgan, the self-styled sheriff of fake news, has become something worse than uninformed. He's dangerous. Night after night, Morgan delivers Gaza monologues dressed up as moral clarity, but they are little more than agenda-driven theatre. Beneath the dramatic sighs and thunderous interruptions lies a venomous narrative that Israel is inherently brutal, that Jewish suffering is conditional, and that anyone defending Israel's right to self-defense is complicit in genocide. Let us take a scalpel to the myth and lay bare the facts. Morgan has abandoned journalism for performance. On one now infamous segment, he invited barrister Natasha Hausdorff to discuss international law and Gaza. She was interrupted more than 60 times in under 10 minutes. Viewers witnessed not a debate, but a public flogging. When she calmly corrected Hamas-provided statistics, Morgan accused her of lacking empathy, because in Piers' world, facts are offensive, and emotion wins the argument. This is not interrogation. It is browbeating masquerading as bravery. For months, Morgan danced around the word genocide. Then, in a viral exchange with Mehdi Hassan, he capitulated. Without legal basis, without examining intent, scale, or context, he declared it plausible that Israel is committing genocide. He did not cite the 1948 Genocide Convention. He did not mention the ethnic cleansing of Jews from Arab lands, nor the stated Hamas goal of eradicating Jews globally. The pivot wasn't legal, it was viral. He smelled the clicks and went all in. According to the IHRA working definition of antisemitism, applying double standards to Israel not expected of other democratic states is antisemitic. Piers Morgan doesn't just apply double standards, he builds entire broadcasts around them. Russian bombings in Syria that level hospitals? Barely mentioned. Sudan's mass civilian slaughter? Irrelevant. Hamas's documented war crimes? Footnotes. Israel retaliating after 1,200 of its citizens were massacred on October 7th? Apparently a genocidal regime. If Israel's actions, in defending itself from a genocidal terror group embedded in a civilian population, are uniquely unforgivable, while worse atrocities by others pass with a shrug, what conclusion are viewers meant to draw? The conclusion is this: Jewish blood is uniquely problematic. That is antisemitism, however loudly it is cloaked in human rights. Morgan gave a platform to Dan Bilzerian, who used it to downplay the Holocaust, question whether 6 million Jews were really murdered, and accuse Jews of controlling historic atrocities. The interview went viral. The full 33-minute clip stayed online, monetized and promoted. There was no robust pushback, no fact-checking, no editorial note, just vile, vintage anti-Semitism repackaged as a different perspective. Ask yourself, would Morgan leave a similar video up if a guest denied the Rwandan genocide? Or the Armenian one? The answer is no, but the Holocaust? Apparently that's negotiable if the ad revenue's right. Tucker Carlson publicly claimed that Morgan told him off-air, "I hate Israel with every fibre of my being." Morgan denied it, but refused to release the raw footage. That silence is damning. Even Israel's Minister for Diaspora Affairs publicly called Morgan out, challenging his credibility. It's not hard to believe. The vehemence with which Morgan targets Israel, his tone, his facial contempt, his selective memory, all point toward a personal animus he struggles to conceal. Morgan freely invokes the Holocaust when criticizing Israel, but balks at recognizing the raw anti-Semitism spewed by Hamas, student protesters, and online mobs. When Jews are targeted, he demands perspective. When Palestinians suffer, he demands tribunals. In this warped moral calculus, Jews are either aggressors or footnotes, never victims, never equal. So, is Piers Morgan anti-Semitic? Let us dispense with euphemism. He platforms Holocaust denial. He whitewashes Hamas. He applies a separate moral code to the world's only Jewish state. He repeats unverified death counts like a propaganda mouthpiece. He is accused, credibly, of hating Israel to his core. By the IHRA definition, by moral logic, and by the very standards he claims to uphold, yes, Piers Morgan is anti-Semitic. Not in the 1930s caricature, but in the modern guise, polished, performative, and draped in hashtags. He is not a brave journalist. He is a ratings mercenary trading in Jewish scapegoating disguised as dissent. And in a world where antisemitism is once again fashionable, Piers Morgan is not merely part of the con VR video.